Well, finally, they won a series. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the series analysis episode of the Seattle Baseline Podcast. My name is Julian Smith, and I'm going solo today. So, as you can see, this is like a totally new area for me. This is my new apartment at State College, and I'm super excited to be attending school here. I am so excited to because I'm going into Smeal College of Business, and that's going to be super awesome. Our room even has a football here, and I was opening my suitcases. We've got the Mariners hat. We've got Nittany Julian here. That's what I like to call it because Julian and then Julian. I think I think it's got like the coolest name in State College. So here he is again, and yeah, I'm super excited. It's like it's still 5 days, no, 6 days. So like basically a week until school starts, and because we had a bunch of move-in stuff and then time zone changes, I couldn't quite coordinate with Alex on the time, and so I'm I'm pretty sure he'll be back. Well, we'll be back to doing both of us. There's a possibility that he's gonna do solo and I'm not gonna be able to do it. But you know what? It's I think possibility is high we will be able to do it together next time. So I'm excited on that. And I'm also excited because the Mariners finally won a series, and not just any series. It was probably one of the more important series in the season at this point. It's against the rival Astros in the American League West, and if they lost this series, I mean, Alex said it last time. If we lost the series, we're basically done for the season. And so they they won the series. They showed some insane grit, and I think that's the highlight of this whole series to me is that they came back from in the first game, brutal loss. I've got to say, like that was after putting up that offensive performance, and George Kirby didn't have his best stuff. They score five on us, and they get it back to five at the ninth inning. We're back going into the 10th inning, and we scored two more runs. And I'm thinking, okay, Andres Munoz comes in here, we seal the deal. And he was going to seal the deal until two bloop bloop single, and then you've got the weakest grounder I've ever seen turned into a single. I was that that's gotta eat at your mental. And then the next game they come back out fresh. They forget that they lost the previous game. They came out like champions in the second game, and they end up winning that game. 10 runs scored. That to me was like the defining moment of the series. And I think if the Mariners can keep on doing that, then this is the team that we saw in this series was the team that we saw last year, the one that could win a championship if everything lines up right. And that's with the way that Brendan Donovan was hitting. Victor Robles is super underrated. He's been actually one of our best hitters for the past month or so. And his overall stats don't show it, but his past 15 games, I don't know how many of those he actually went up to bat. So I'd say like the last 15 games probably represents the last 10 games, but he has been really heating it up. And he's hit two triples in a row, or two triples in 2 games in a row. Victor Robles, if he can continue doing what he's doing with Luke Rayleigh out and Taylor Ward clearly not looking like the start of the season, Victor Robles might be our guy going into the end of the season. This might be the 2024 Victor Robles that we saw, who heated up in the second half of the season. The timeline really lines up there. And maybe it's that August Victor Robles is different than, or August and September Victor Robles is different than any of the other months. Maybe that's something that's true for him, kind of like what Julio Rodriguez was doing for most of his career so far. So I'm this series gets me really excited about the next series because I didn't think that I would see this team come out again with the way that the Mariners have been playing all year. I didn't think that I would see the team that didn't take a loss for an answer. Didn't say, "Ooh, brutal loss. I guess we suck." Like they said, "Ooh, brutal loss. I'm going to come out tomorrow and I'm going to destroy them. I'm going to let my anger absolutely destroy them all the way out to the moon." And you know what? Instead of, well, destroying them to the moon is great, but they brought the Astros through the earth and like all the way into the ground. So that was super awesome to see. I hope they continue that. And I'm honestly, that's this Mariners performance makes me really um, think about the what if. The what if they can win the series against the Brewers, against the Phillies, against the Cubs, and then go back to September and play that super, super easy schedule. The only series that they have that's actually against the winning team is the Astros in September. It really makes me think of that what if, and then maybe this is a team that can go into the postseason. That's the team that I see from this Astro series. Obviously, it's a super small sample size. It's literally one series so far. And if they come out against the Brewers next and um they look like the same team that was playing for most of this season, that I'm going to be like, okay, that's I guess it was a one series wonder. But it's that obviously we've been good against the Astros this year, but this is not the same Astros team that played us at the start of the season. This is an Astros team that's completely their pitching staff is looks completely different from the start of the year, and we destroyed their pitching staff. That's the team that I saw on the field. The team that in the first game lost the most heartbreaking loss that I've seen all year. Probably one of the best games of the season for like just MLB wise, probably one of the best games of the season. And then comes out the next game and says, that offense defined who we are. We're just gonna keep doing that offense, and the pitching staff is gonna be much better than it was in that first game. That like I keep on going back to the same point because it gets me really, really excited. It's a if the Mariners go on to get into the playoffs, this series is the defining moment of that playoff run. And this version of the Mariners could do it with this upcoming schedule. This version of the Mariners could get to the postseason, even with as low of a standing as we have right now. It can get to the postseason and maybe even win the American League West. So let's get to the Milwaukee Brewers, because this is a team last year had the best record in Major League Baseball. This year, still incredible, incredible team. 77 to 48 wins to loss. That is insanely good. That's like they're on track to win like 100 games this year. So that is really insane. And one of their big guys, pitching staff wise, Jacob Mizorowski, not in the probable pitchers list for this upcoming series. I am so glad, because that guy is. We thought so. Logan Gilbert is known for his extension, and that's like one of his best things. Jacob Mizorowski ranks above him in that, and also he throws the ball at 102 miles an hour on average, fastball. So that's that's a unicorn. That's like a physical anomaly. I've never seen somebody that can do that at a consistent level. And that's like obviously there's strategies to pitching, but when you have that type of physical ability, even if your strategy is not, even if your approach their strategy is not that great, you get away with it because the hitter's not reacting to somebody extending so far over the plate and throwing the ball 102 miles an hour. That's almost impossible. You're almost always going to be late to the fastball, and that's the reason why he's been great. But enough talk about Jacob Mizorowski because he's not playing the Mariners this series. And let's talk about the pitchers that are. First one, Robert Gasser. He's or wait, no, sorry. I am looking at August 20th. Big brain brain bump from me. Let's get back to the first pitcher we're facing is Kyle Harrison. This guy has a 2.99 ERA. That's under 3, so that is considered elite. Last 3 starts, he hasn't been that good. And his his earn runs average is amazing, but it seems like his innings count isn't telling that same story. In the last 3 games, against San Diego, he went 4 2/3 innings with 3 earned runs. The game against Pittsburgh was probably a great game for him. 5 innings, no earned runs. No earned runs is always great. Against St. Louis, the game before, he missed a lot of time. And then he played St. Louis like more than a month ago, more than a month and a quarter of a month ago. 4 innings, 3 earned runs. I assume at that point he was probably injured, like he was probably playing through an injury, so they pulled him at 4 innings. But the other two, 5 innings and 4 2/3 is not impressive by any means. And his injury seems to be looming because in the last 7 games he's had a 3.48 ERA, and that's it's still great, but considering the innings count, it's really not that impressive. And so if the Mariners can get him out of the game in the first 4 innings, 5 innings, and then they can go to work on the bullpen, maybe Kyle Harrison doesn't give up all those runs, but that the bullpen, that's a different story. And so if the Mariners can attack the bullpen early and then the next game completely burn out their bullpen, that's going to be a huge one for us. Another guy that we should look at is Dustin May, because Dustin May used to play for the Dodgers, and he was one of their starters. Like he was one of their main 5 starters for a while before he got traded to the Boston Red Sox. And then now he's a Milwaukee Brewer after I think St. Louis signed him in the offseason. His his season, like his season stats don't tell the story at all, because actually instead of Harrison, who we just talked about, I'm watching out for this guy because in the last 7 games he has a 2.92 ERA, and his even though his innings pitched in the last 7 games don't look as good, if we look at the last 3 games, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 innings, no earned runs. So he's coming off of a big hot streak in the last 3 games. And when it comes to starting pitchers, 3 games is a pretty big sample size. And last 7 games is a massive sample size. So Dustin May is a big pitcher that we're going to have to watch out for. And I think the Milwaukee Brewers did a great job for acquiring him from the St. Louis Cardinals because this is this guy is starting to become one of their main guys to destroy offenses. And if the Mariners want to keep doing what they've been doing or what they did against the Astros, they have to get through this guy. They have to get through Harrison. They have to get through May, and then they'll get to the final game against. All right, August 20th. They will get to the final game against Robert Gasser, and this guy has so he was great in 2024, good in 2025, and 2026. It seems like he's coming back from a huge injury stint because he doesn't have a last 30 games column, and last 15 games is basically the same earned runs average as the last 7 games. He's coming off of a great start against the Dodgers. If you're putting up 6 1/3 innings and 3 earned runs against the Dodgers, you're doing something right. But the other 2 games, 4.2 innings with 3 earned runs, that's okay, not that great. You're burning your bullpen and you gave up 3 earned runs. The against the Angels, he went 5 innings and 1 earned run. That's a great start, or that's a pretty good start. But against the Dodgers in his previous start, 6 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs is a big deal. And so, even though his season stats haven't been that great, he has the ability to put up that type of start. And so, I wouldn't put any of these Milwaukee Brewers starting pitchers on a lower eye at all. I think all of these starting pitchers are totally capable. And the Mariners this year, they their starting pitching probably beats their starting pitching. But let's be honest, that batting order is incredible. And so the Mariners batting needs to figure out how they can attack these pitchers the way that they did against the Astros. The Astros series was great. Let's keep it going. That's all there is to it because the Mariners, they need to win. They need to win almost all the series they have out. And the Milwaukee Brewers, despite their great record, is no exception. The Mariners need to just run over these guys, basically. And to do that, the offense needs to wake up. The pitching staff will do their work. Logan Gilbert is going to do his work on the 19th against Dustin May. And Bryce Miller, that's the iffy part. He hasn't been that great for the past month or so. And so all I can say is that I hope he does better. But at this point, the confidence level in Bryce Miller is starting to get really low. It seems like his decreased velocity is starting to, or not just starting to, his decreased velocity is affecting the effectiveness of other pitches because they're not respecting his fastball. They can just hit the fastball. And so it's been a struggle bus for him. Hopefully he can bring it back. George Kirby, he struggled in his previous start against the Astros, but it's a new day. He's got to go back out there. The energy in the clubhouse has to be riding high right now again after going against the Astros and having an off day, just recouping everything, reflecting everything. That's the core of what they need to bring back from that series against the Astros is that confidence. The confidence and reflection, everything. They need to put it all out on the line against Milwaukee Brewers, and I think that they have it. They have it. I think that the Mariners can win this series against the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm honestly getting pretty confident that they can. And It's all up to if they do it. That's it. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. I'm super excited for this series, and please do us a favor. Tell a friend about us. Um, like we want to increase the subscriber count. We want to see more comments in the comment section because that's half the fun of doing this is like getting to see your guys' comments and what you guys think to what we're thinking. Like it's super awesome. So please let your friends know about us. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our beautiful faces on YouTube. Check out our Instagram. And as always, go Mariners.